covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now, coverage you can count on.
New hope in the homeless crisis as a local shelter adds 100 new beds. Plus, new details in the Bernie cold case murder arrest in Tucson. Plus, Safeway workers want better wages, benefits, and scheduling protections. And that might impact your next trip to the grocery store if contract negotiations don't produce a deal by midnight. Action News Now reporter Margot Rowe is live at the Safeway Shopping Center on East Avenue in Chico. Margot, are local employees planning to strike?
Yes, Haley, I spoke with a few employees here at the East Avenue location. They say they plan to strike, and even had an employee from the Nord location drive up to me and say that their store also plans to strike. Now, union leaders from the UFCW 8 Golden State, UFCW 8, 5, and 48, which represent over 25,000 Safeway employees, are seeking better wages, adequate funding for pension benefits and health care, and other on-the-job safeguards. Now, if a deal isn't reached by midnight tonight, we'll see employees from both Chico locations and even the Redding locations hit the picket lines. And that one Nord employee explained to me that there is a strike fund to help support workers as they're on the picket line, but they said they had no idea how long that funding would last or how long the strike would last if it happens. Reporting live in Chico, I'm Margot Rowe for Action News Now.
Thank you, Margot. If the strike happens, it will affect Safeways and Albertsons from Northern California to South Central California. Now we have a live look from Alert California's camera in Siskiyou County looking at Mount Shasta, and it looks like a scene from the middle of winter right now. Dark and stormy out there as a thunderstorm threat moves through, and I see it behind you there on that graphic, Howie. It looks like a lot's going on.
Lots going on from the coastal range all the way across, not in the valley, but across to the Sierra and the Cascades as well, then the Shasta County Mountains. But Trinity County very busy with two severe storms near Weaverville as well as Hayfork. The Weaverville storm's moving south. The storm's down in Hayfork. They're pushing off towards the northwest. Either way, 60-mile-per-hour winds. We're looking at quarter-sized hail, frequent lightning strikes. Again, if you can be away from this area, beneficial. But if you are here, you're urged to stay indoors, lowest level of the first floor. Get away from exterior windows. You want to be near closets or bathrooms with all those pipes and stronger foundation to protect you. I've seen a few indications, I'm not 100% verified, of flooding, but either way, these storms are moving slow enough to create the flooding when they're training over the same spot. But we're going to update you as often as possible with these storms. They're expected to stay severe until about 6:15. We'll talk more about it in a few minutes, Haley, because these storms very much on the severe and strong side.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Howie. The U.S. Forest Service recorded over 5,900 lightning strikes across Northern California last night. Siskiyou County alone hit with more than 2,200 cloud-to-ground strikes. The CAL FIRE Siskiyou unit responded to 7 lightning-sparked fires, which they're still working to put out. Plus, nearly 400 lightning strikes were recorded in the Shasta Trinity National Forest. The U.S. Forest Service says firefighters continue to look for any new fires that may have started as a result of the lightning strikes. And more, as Howie just said, is expected to continue. We're going to keep tracking it for you. New developments. Bernie cold case murder suspect Roger Schmidt appeared in the Tehama County Court today in Tucson, Arizona, where he waived the formal extradition process. The Shasta County District Attorney says he relinquished his right to an extradition hearing and agreed to be extradited to Shasta County. He faces murder and other related charges in connection with the 1984 murder of Terry Arndt, plus the sexual assault of a female victim. He's currently en route back to our area. New at 6, Yuba Sutter Narcotic and Gang Enforcement arrested a man in connection with an illegal cannabis processing operation in Live Oak. They say Lucas Wilson of Gridley was granted a hemp cultivation permit earlier this year. But when Sutter County Code Enforcement did an inspection, they say they spotted both labor and safety violations. After getting a search warrant, agencies found evidence of illegal cannabis, they say, which has a higher THC content than hemp. So far, they say that they've found 10,000 pounds of cannabis or cannabis product there on the property. Esperanza means hope in Spanish, and that's exactly what a new shelter in Oroville aims to provide. Action News Now's Jerry O'Lennon shows us the project aiming to lessen the homeless crisis.
Local leaders and community members gathered Friday to cut the ribbon on Mission Esperanza, a $2.7 million state-funded shelter designed to offer both housing and healing for people experiencing homelessness.
This is one of those bittersweet things. I wish we lived in a world where everyone was able to be housed and was able to have all the needs that they could be met, but we don't.
The shelter features dorm-style beds for men and women, individual and shared pallet shelters equipped with beds and air conditioning, and communal bathrooms and showers. While the goal is to help clients transition to independence as quickly as possible, staff are prepared for longer stays if needed.
Our goal is to have people to have them housed as soon as possible, but right behind me, the pallet shelters here, we're prepared to have people here for up to 2 years as we are working their case plan out.
For many, Mission Esperanza represents more than a shelter. It offers a chance to start over. In Orville, Jerry Olenin, Action News Now.
Move-ins are scheduled to begin Monday, with full occupancy expected within 3 months. President Trump signed an executive order to make it easier for cities to remove the homeless from the streets. The order directs U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi to reverse rules that limit cities' abilities to relocate homeless people. It also redirects federal resources to help provide the homeless with things like drug rehab. The order directs Bondi to work with other Trump administration leaders to fast-track federal funds to states, cities, and counties that crack down on illegal drug use, camping, and loitering, and track the location of sex offenders. We reached out to cities all across our area, and a rep for Chico said that it changes nothing because of the Warren Settlement Agreement, which restricts how the city deals with illegal camps. Tehama County supervisors tonight are explaining the decision to give the county administrator the power to discipline some department heads without the board's approval. Action News Now reporter Blake Mayfield spoke with board chair Matt Hansen about why he supported this change.
Tehama County Administrator Gabriel Heydrich now has more on his plate. It comes due to changes county supervisors approved in a 3-2 vote this week that will give Heydrich the responsibility of addressing and disciplining appointed department heads for things like tardiness. It also gives the county someone specific to address these kinds of issues on a day-to-day basis if they arise, something they did not have before.
In some cases, we've had some issues that have come up along the way. And those issues continue to fester and get bigger and bigger. And there's this long delay in the board getting together and talking about them and coming up with some sort of resolution, that a lot of those things can be handled at a lower level immediately.
Supervisors Hansen, Tom Walker, and Greg Jones all voted for Heydrich's added duties, while Supervisors Nolan and Burrows dissented. Hansen says the idea to expand duties for Heydrich initially came up 2 years ago. He added that in some cases, the former structure was not working, citing the Public Works Department as an example.
This allows us to actually have a more accountability over his position. And I think it's going to work out in the long run to improve efficiencies and the operations of the county.
Even though Heydrich can discipline department heads, he's not legally bound to discipline county supervisors, even with his expanded role. He also will not receive an increase in his $151,000 a year salary.
Environmental health directors, building department, planning, environmental health, those administrators over those departments.
Heydrich's new responsibilities were effective as of this week. With that, the board still plans to do a closed session evaluation period with Heydrich in the coming weeks.
The board will set the clear expectations of what we want to see, and we'll be able to hold them accountable.
Reporting in Red Bluff, I'm Blake Mayfield, Action News Now.
We reached out to Supervisors Nolan and Burrows and Heydrich, but have not heard back yet. Do you need help creating defensible space around your home? Well, the Weaverville Fire Department is ready to help out. They received grant funding under Title III to help with defensible space for the elderly, disabled, and low income. But you do have to live in Weaverville, Douglas City, Lewiston, or Junction City, and you can schedule an assessment for your property. Call 530-623-6156. If you don't have a pen in hand, we're going to make sure this is up on this story on our website later this evening. New at 6, clearing out brush for fire safety. The Valley View Fire Center, along with Tehama County Probation and Public Works, are working near the Cottonwood Creek Bridge on a fuel reduction project. The goal is to cut down hazardous vegetation and reduce wildfire risk. CAL FIRE says teams will be working in the area for several more days. CAL FIRE Butte County law enforcement arrested a man they say started a vegetation fire in Orville this week. The 30 by 30 foot fire sparked yesterday morning at around 7:30 on Lower Wyandotte Road in South Oroville. Officials say Robert Gray sparked the blaze after witnesses gave a description to law enforcement at the scene. Gray was booked into the Butte County Jail for causing fire to forest land. New at 6, a busy week on the roads in Oroville. CHP officers responded to a high number of incidents, including vehicle fires, stolen vehicles, traffic crashes, multiple DUI arrests. Now, the CHP reminds you to watch for warning signs like smoke, burning smells, or flickering lights in your vehicle. Get regular maintenance. Avoid storing flammable items like aerosol cans or lighters in your car. And if your car does catch fire, pull over, turn off the engine, and get everyone out immediately. Helping animals and having a good time. A local gala gives you a chance to do both. Plus, get your fork and knife ready. A food truck festival is coming to our area.